Back to channel. In this video we are going to discuss about our norma frontalis. So what is norma frontalis? If you see the skull from the front side, okay, so this is norma frontalis. So in the norma frontalis mainly you're going to see its outline. If you see its outline, it will be roughly like an oval outline. So it's just a skull diagram. And here comes your mandible like this. So okay, sorry for the bad diagram, but let us understand the parts norma frontalis. So mainly first you need to see what bones are present. So this part of the bone, this is called as frontal bone, okay, frontal bone, and it is forming a forehead. It is upper part smooth, convex, but if you see its lower part, it is irregular and it is interrupted by two orbits and also by anterior bony aperture of nose, okay. So now coming to maxilla. If you see this is the maxilla, it is having right and left maxilla forming the upper jaw. Coming to the right and left nasal bones. Actually nasal bones are two, right and left nasal bones which are forming a bridge of the nose. And coming to the zygomatic bone, here you have actually zygomatic bone. Okay, this is the zygomatic bone which is forming a cheek like prominence, right? So this is a zygomatic bone, okay. Don't worry, I'll also show the real diagram. This is just for our understanding. So this is a zygomatic bone, okay. This is a facial bone, this is a zygomatic bone, this is a maxilla bone, this is mandible bone, okay, and these are the nasal bones. So now what you need to understand is norma frontalis is studied mainly under following headings. Before that, see that zygomatic bones are the bony prominence on superior lateral part, okay, and they're forming the prominence of cheek. So in the normal frontalis, you will see mainly the frontal region, you will see the orbital openings, you will see the anterior piriform shaped bony apparatus for the nose, and also you will see the lower part of the face. So let me show the real diagram. This is not good. So you can understand whole of norma frontalis just by this bony structure. So the frontal region is presented by superior ciliary arch. These are called as, I drawn with pen, these are the superior ciliary arch, which are rounded curved elevations just above the medial part of each orbit, okay, and it is overlying the frontal sinus. Actually back of this supraciliary arch there is frontal sinus, and it is seen more prominently in male when compared with female. Now coming to glabella, the meeting point of both supraciliary arch is called as glabella. This is a medial elevation. Below the glabella, the skull recedes to frontonasal structure suture at the root of nose. Frontonasal, because this is frontal bone, these are the nasal bones, and the suture in between this one is called frontonasal suture, okay. If you see the frontonasal suture is meeting with internasal suture, this point is called nasion. So nasion is the point where the frontonasal suture meets the internasal suture. Next coming to frontal tuber, these are called as frontal tubers. Frontal tubers are eminence which are mainly seen above the superciliary arch, and these are seen on two sides, and this is prominent especially in female and also in children. Now coming to orbital openings. If you see each orbit, it is quadrangular in shape and it is bounded by four margins. One is the supraorbital margin, one is the infraorbital margin, one is the medial orbital margin, one is the lateral orbital margin. So let us see supraorbital margin. It is formed by the frontal bone and also at the junction of lateral 2/3. So if you see the frontal bone at the junction of lateral 2/3 over here, and also in the medial 1/3, it is presenting a supraorbital notch or foramen. This is called supraorbital notch or foramen, okay. Now coming to infraorbital margin, it is formed by zygomatic bone on the lateral side and maxilla on medial side, okay. And next coming to medial orbital margin. Medial orbital margin is ill-defined and it is formed by frontal bone from above, and it is also formed by the lacrimal crest of the frontal process of maxilla. Actually here you will have lacrimal crest which is formed by frontal portion of maxilla itself. Okay, and next coming to lateral orbital margin. Lateral orbital margin is formed by frontal process of zygomatic bone and the it is formed by frontal process of zygomatic bone, and it is completed by zygomatic process of frontal bone. So by zygomatic bone by frontal bone, it is a lateral orbital margin, and the union here forms a suture called as frontozygomatic suture. Now coming to anterior bony apparatus of nose. The anterior bony apparatus, if you see, it is like a pear shape and it is wide below and narrow above. If you see boundaries, above it is having lower border of nasal bones. Below it is formed by nasal notch of body of maxilla on each side, and if you see features, anteriorly it is opposite bone at internasal suture, and posteriorly it has frontal process of maxilla. Superiorly it is having frontal bone at frontonasal suture here superiorly, and inferiorly it is having upper nasal cartilage, it is attached to it, and this is called as anterior nasal spine. Anterior nasal spine is sharp projection in medial plane in lower boundary of piriform aperture here. Next coming to renion. This is renion. Renion is the lowermost point of internasal suture here. Now clinical anatomy related to it. The nasal bone is one of the most common fracture bones of face, and even the mandible. So this is mandible and parietal eminence. Parietal eminence is this one. Parietal bone most prominent is called parietal eminence, and these are the next bones which are fractured. So first most common bone is nasal bone, next is the mandible, next is the parietal eminence. Now let us understand maxilla by this dirty diagram. So I think you have understood original bone. So this is maxilla, right? So maxilla contributes large share in formation of facial skeleton. So the anterior surface of body of maxilla presents the nasal notch medially and anterior nasal spine, and also infraorbital margin, and also it forms it has an infraorbital foramen like this, infraorbital foramen below the infraorbital margin, and also there is incisive fossa. If you see near the teeth, you have incisive fossa and canine fossa. Incisive fossa near incisor teeth, canine fossa near canine eminence. Okay, next coming to other process like frontal process of maxilla. So this is all called as frontal process of maxilla, this part. Okay, so the frontal process of maxilla is directed upward. It articulates anteriorly with nasal bone, posteriorly with lacrimal bone, here posteriorly with lacrimal bone, and superiorly with frontal bone. Superiorly it will go here, right? So and it will articulate with frontal bone. So these are the articulations. Now coming to zygomatic process. The zygomatic process of maxilla is short, stout, and articulates with the zygomatic bone. So this process till here, this is called as zygomatic process. It will articulate with zygomatic bone. Now coming to alveolar process, it will present for the teeth. So like this it will look sockets. Alveolar process of maxilla bear sockets of upper teeth. Okay, now coming to zygomatic bone, here you will see clearly. The zygomatic bone forms a prominence of cheek, and it also have a foramen called zygomaticofacial foramen. Now coming to the mandible. Mandible is from lower jaw. Its upper border is having an alveolar arch for lower teeth, and the lower border is rounded, and the middle point of base is called as the mental point or gnathion. This point is called mental point or gnathion, and the point of angle of mandible is called gnonion. Angle of mandible. This angle of mandible is called gnonion. This is gnathion. This is gnonion. And the anterior surface of body of mandible have symphysis menti, also called as mental protuberance, and there are mental tubercles anteriorly, and also a mental foramen, below the interval between two premolar teeth, which transmits the mental nerve and vessels. So it is transmitting the mental nerve and vessels. And oblique line runs upwards and backwards from mental tubercle to anterior border of ramus. So this is the ramus. In the ramus of mandible you can find the condylar process and the coronoid process. Okay. And coming to the sutures of norma frontalis. So what sutures you have seen? First you have seen internasal suture between the nasal bones. Next you have seen frontonasal suture between frontal bone and nasal here. This is the frontonasal suture. Next you have seen nasomaxillary suture, that is here. Nasomaxillary means between the nasal bone. Sorry, this one. This is maxilla, right? So nasomaxillary suture, and you have seen lacrimomaxillary because here you will have lacrimal bone, lacrimomaxillary suture, and you have seen frontomaxillary suture. This one only because with the frontal bone with the maxilla. Okay, frontomaxillary suture, and you have intermaxillary suture. This one is intermaxillary suture, and you have zygomaticomaxillary. This one zygomaticomaxillary suture, and you have zygomaticofrontal suture. Zygomatic bone with frontal bone. So these are the different sutures you see in the norma frontalis. So finally coming to attachments of norma frontalis, the medial part of here you will have supraciliary arch. This is the glabella. Okay. So the medial part of supraciliary arch give origin to corrugator superciliary muscle, and the processor muscle arises from nasal bone near medial plane. So here from the nasal bone, medial bone, processus muscle. Next, orbicular part of orbicularis oculi arise from frontal process of maxilla here. Frontal process of maxilla, and from the nasal part of frontal bone. Next, coming to medial palpebraal ligament. Actually these are not so important. If you want you can just study it, that's it. So we can complete norma frontalis by this, that is enough.